Albert Ojwang was more than a headline. He was a dedicated teacher in Homa Bay, Kenya, and a passionate advocate for his community. At 31, he inspired students to think critically and believed education could transform society. Beyond the classroom, he was a loving husband and father to a 5-month-old baby, grounding his public activism in personal hope for his child's future. Albert became a citizen journalist, using platforms like X and Facebook to demand political accountability and fight corruption. His fearless posts made him a trusted voice for ordinary Kenyans, especially the youth. He didn't seek fame, he sought fairness, shining a light on injustice. Albert believed a mobile phone could be as powerful as a ballot box. He was a truth teller, part of a new generation demanding transparency. His unwavering commitment to speaking out for a better Kenya made him a target. That courage would ultimately cost him his life, leaving a family and nation searching for answers. On Friday, June 6, 2025, Albert's words online drew the ire of powerful figures. Police arrested him, accusing him of publishing false information about Deputy Inspector General Eliud Lagat. Instead of a local hearing, Albert was driven over 350 kilometers from Homa Bay to Nairobi, a clear act of intimidation. Isolated from his family and legal support, he was booked into Central Police Station. The system he challenged now held him captive. Less than 24 hours after his booking, Albert was dead. What began as an arrest for a social media post ended in tragedy. His journey to Nairobi led not to justice, but to a cold cell and a silent, brutal end. Police quickly claimed Albert died by self-inflicted injuries, saying he repeatedly hit his head against his cell wall. This narrative was meant to close the case and absolve responsibility. But witnesses reported hearing screams, signs of a violent struggle, not a quiet suicide. The official story crumbled under scrutiny as cries for help echoed from the station's walls. The truth was obscured by a familiar tactic, blaming the victim to shield the institution. In the age of information, the public demanded evidence and transparency. The battle for the truth had just begun. The post-mortem, conducted by 5 pathologists, shattered the police's story. The autopsy revealed severe head injuries, neck compression, and multiple soft tissue wounds, clear evidence of assault, not self-harm. Extensive bleeding and bruises showed Albert had been beaten and strangled. The Law Society of Kenya called it what it was: torture and murder. The scientific evidence exposed the official narrative as a cover-up. The question was no longer if Albert was killed, but who did it, and who tried to hide the truth. The focus shifted to the perpetrators and the system that enabled them. The autopsy became the cornerstone of the demand for justice. The family and public now had irrefutable proof to challenge the state's account. The truth could not be buried. Justice had to follow. For Albert's family, his death was a private tragedy thrust into the public eye. His father, Meshach Ojwang, pleaded for justice while his young wife faced raising their baby alone. The human cost of extrajudicial violence was measured in broken families and stolen futures. Protesters voiced empathy, recognizing that Albert's loss was a blow to all Kenyan families. In Homa Bay, he was a beloved teacher and neighbor. In Nairobi, a comrade to activists. His killing sent a chilling message. Anyone who speaks out could be next. Grief galvanized the community, turning pain into resolve. Albert's story resonated with thousands who have suffered injustice. His tragedy became a symbol, a rallying point for the right to life and free speech. The grief of one family ignited the conscience of a nation. Albert's death is part of a long, grim pattern of state violence against dissenters in Kenya. Activists, journalists and critics have faced extrajudicial killings and disappearances for years. Names like Caroline Mawatha and Otieno remind us these are not isolated cases. Charges like publishing false information are weaponized to silence critics. After the 2024 Finance Bill protests, repression intensified. Activists were abducted and threatened. The message: stay silent or be silenced. This culture of impunity has turned police cells into death chambers. Kenya is becoming a graveyard for truth-tellers. Justice for Albert is a fight to break this deadly cycle. Outrage spilled into the streets as Kenyans marched to Central Police Station, demanding accountability. Chants of "Stop killing us!" echoed through Nairobi, with protesters blocking roads and carrying Albert's image. The march was peaceful but determined, a show of people's power. Police responded with tear gas, but the crowd's resolve only grew. The crackdown confirmed fears. The system protects itself, not its citizens. Protesting became an act of defiance against brutality. Activists risked everything, knowing silence was more dangerous than speaking out. Their message was clear: we will not be silent until there is justice for Albert Ojwang. The streets became a battleground for truth. As protests raged, #Justice for Albert Ojwang exploded online, becoming a digital monument and rallying cry. Social media dismantled the official narrative, sharing witness accounts and autopsy findings. Citizen journalists and activists fact-checked police statements in real time. The hashtag pressured institutions, forcing investigations and suspensions. It built a community of solidarity, connecting Kenyans in shared outrage. Organizations used the platform to organize and inform. The state could kill a man, but not his story. Albert's message now echoed through millions of voices. Today, June 10th, 2025, Albert Ojwang has been dead for 2 days. Suspensions and investigations have begun, but true justice means prosecuting everyone involved in his murder. This is a test for Kenya's institutions and its people. Will this case be forgotten, or will it spark real change? The answer depends on continued public pressure and solidarity. We must honor Albert's legacy by refusing to be silenced. Share his story, demand action, and support those fighting for justice. The fight for Albert is a fight for Kenya's soul. His light was extinguished, but it has ignited a fire in millions. Let that fire burn until justice is done.